So, I'm dedicating this one to my sister, Jillian. So, and she lives in Philadelphia, and she just got engaged, so because this is getting recorded and it'll go up on Facebook, it'll be a big surprise to her. Can I have everybody say, congratulations, Jill and Robert?
Congratulations, Jill and Robert!
Oh man, it's better than Christmas presents. All right. So, okay. I'm afraid, well, especially when I was a little kid, I was very afraid of change of any kind. My parents got divorced when I was really tiny, and I think that sort of reverberated through my childhood. And to the point where, at one point my mom said that she was thinking about getting rid of our old, like, crappy, like, chewed up, like, dinner table that us little kids had, you know, destroyed when we were dribbling on it when we were 3 or whatever. And I, like, burst into tears and was inconsolable. And she kept that table for, like, another 10 years. And it was gross and awful. And, like, yeah, because, you know, because she didn't know what to do with me. That's, you know. And so that was me. And then she got remarried pretty quickly to a man who I talked about last time. If you weren't here, it doesn't matter. He was radio's original psychic. That was his thing. More on that later. So what happened was my little sister came along in 1990, and I was like 10. And for the first couple of years, she was in a room upstairs, and then we lived in this little tract home, you know, like all the houses look the same, and they're all in weird little windy streets that have names like Clover Meadow and stuff. And there was a little housing tract called Farm Brook, but there was no brook. There was like a storm drainage ditch behind the house. That was about it. And so we're in this tiny house, and now there's 3 of us. There's me and my sister Jen, and then Jill comes along, who's engaged now, and she comes along in 1990, and she was upstairs for a little bit, and then we decided to do this crazy tear-em-up where we're gonna move a bunch of stuff around downstairs, and my mom and my stepdad are gonna move upstairs, and then I'm gonna move downstairs. They're gonna cut the room in half, and then make another room for my little sister Jill, and you know, the kind of things that you do. And so I was gonna move from upstairs to downstairs, and it was my parents' room, and my stepdad, he says to me, hey, you're gonna have a cable TV down there because there's a cable line in that room. And I was so excited. It was the only thing that meant that was, you know, gonna assuage the terror of me having to change rooms, oh God forbid. And so we get ready to make this move. I have to move all of my stuff out of my room, like into the living room, while they move their stuff upstairs, and then I'm gonna eventually move my stuff downstairs. And I make the mistake of telling my mom, I'm gonna have cable TV downstairs. And my mom flipped out. She said, oh, no, you're not. Because we had HBO and everything, and, you know, boobs and I was probably mostly going to watch, like, Mystery Science Theater or something, but there are boobs. You caught my fancy. Time to time, I'm a casual connoisseur. I'm not going to enjoy a boob here and there. But, yeah. So anyway, so she's like, no, you're not. And I'm like, well, then I'm not moving downstairs. And this was like this was like, you know, like Cold War type, Cuban Missile Crisis type stalemate. But then my mom used the nuclear option. She said, if you won't move your stuff downstairs, I'm throwing it all out. And I said, oh yeah? I'm not moving anywhere. So my mom proceeded to take everything that I own and put it out on the front lawn. Piece by piece, every single thing. She showed me, you know, what stubbornness really is. Like she put my stuff outside piece by piece. She just did it. I was standing out there on the lawn just watching, like, in disbelief. And not knowing what the hell to do. And then it starts sprinkling a little bit, so I start moving my stuff, like, under, the houses that are, like, bigger on top than on the bottom, so there's a little eave over the circle floor, but so I'm moving my stuff under there, so it's like my Sega Genesis, and, like, putting my, like, comfort over things. And she gets so mad that I'm not, like, I'm literally beside myself inside, but outside I'm like, I'm not doing anything. And so she's like, she's not getting a reaction from me. So finally, she like throws this little, I had this little chest that I kept like notes and stuff in, and she throws it at me and hits me in the arm, and it didn't hurt or anything really, but she was terrified. She didn't, like I just got hit in the arm with this chest, and then she just, she didn't know what to do. But here's the thing, like, she ended up caving in because of it, I think, and said, okay, fine. So I agreed to put my stuff down there. And I think it's probably the only time I ever won any kind of fight or argument with my mother. And as it turns out, she wasn't really mad at me. Like, she was mad at my stepdad. And this was an endemic problem. Like they would get divorced a couple of years later. And because, they did nothing but fight, and he would promise things that you shouldn't have or that you shouldn't deliver on, and parenting stuff, And so they did get divorced a couple of years later. But the thing is, my sister grew up, and eventually he died of emphysema after they got divorced. And I don't think she remembers a lot of the crazy stuff that happened when we were kids. That we remember kind of fondly, and I wish that she did. But there's a thing I thought, he's a psychic. She didn't grow up to be a psychic. But a psychic looks at it, he would just look at you, and then he would tell you things about yourself. And I don't know if I believe any of that. But what my sister does, and her fiance, they're both photographers. So they look at people, and they take a picture, and they reveal things that you wouldn't necessarily see. So she does take after her father, and we do miss him, and everybody in this story gets forgiven. I forgive my mom, she forgives me, we all forgive Nelson, my stepdad, and my sister, I think she forgives him too. So thank you very much, everyone.